Hey guys, to help run the forums, host the website, and travel, we've introduced a universal service fee for in-depth coverage, including this video. My goal is to be unbiased and transparent. It's a privilege to serve you. This is not an endorsement. Let's get into it. Beautiful day for a ride, 4th of July weekend just around the corner, and we're checking out the Electric Bike Company Model X. And I've checked out the Model Y. It's kind of a Y like step through, easy to approach, beautiful. Both of these are $12.99. They're some of my favorite electric cruisers. I'm just really impressed with what you get for the money. I'm gonna go through this in detailed EBR fashion. It's kind of the high step, right? Like cantilever frame, only comes in this black by default, but for like 300, 400 bucks, they actually partner with a local company that will paint this kind of any color you want. This is where all the paints will be applied perfectly, either for the 24 colors that they have on the website as an option or custom colors. Can you tell me how this works, Sean?
Yes, you go onto the site and you can actually choose out of 24 different colors, any color that you want your bike to be painted. We paint it that way. If you want something specialized kind of color, you send us in a swab. We'll give you a call and we'll work out the color arrangements from there.
So we've been doing this for probably 10 years now.
Wow.
And we specialize in paint and painting all sorts of bikes. It's pretty common because people see cars that they like the color of,
yep,
and they want that color. So, you know, we can do that for them, make it happen.
So you choose the 20 out of 24 colors, and then the second option is, do you want it matte or do you want it gloss?
Okay, and we were looking at these frames and I was like, what happens if you get a nick? Like what do you do?
Touch-up paint. So if you order one of the bikes in the 24 colors that Sean has on the website,
okay,
get touch-up paint. So it's a little bit more complicated to make it perfect, but for the home person, the touch-up paint's going to fill the scratch and you're going to be able to cover up all those blemishes.
And buff it up, blend it a little bit or something like that?
If you have those skills, you can buff it up, yeah.
Yeah, and you do. I mean,
yeah.
So what's going on in here in this room?
This is our sanding room. So we do a lot of prepping. So I've got to take paint, strip paint, sand, do repairs. Sort of anything dirty gets done in there. It keeps the dust sort of in there, yeah.
Yeah, this is a pretty big space here.
But they all get prepped out here and they get painted in the booth.
And I noticed that you've even got those chain covers, and are you doing the fenders and stuff too? So it all looks...
Do fenders, the chain guards, the frames, forks, and surf racks.
Yeah.
We painted anything else?
Back rack, front rack.
Yeah.
So Vance, you're going to paint a frame, and I was going to get to take a look at that. I thought that was really cool. What's your background?
So my background is everything custom. So I've been playing with everything from cars from, say, the Fast and Furious franchise to current, doing some projects with Art Williams Jr. You can look him up, guy's amazing artist, right? So my gamut of knowledge is vast. I've been playing with paint and regular and fleet paint for like over 30 years. So top quality finishes. I brought in paint manufacturers to make sure that all of our bases and our primers and everything are on point.
And Sean was saying that one of the applications here is companies that want to have some branding work done and maybe have a fleet or something.
Oh, yeah. That's right. If they have this special color of their logo and they want their logo on the frame, we can do that as well for them. Yeah.
I feel like it'd be awesome if you had a gallery someday of like custom bikes, and then people could be like, I want something like that. You know?
I mean, it's insane. It's so niche business type of situation to where, if they have anything that they want special, it's Burger King, have it your way.
Fantastic, man. Well, he's gonna hop in there. I'll show you what that looks like.
So there's no contaminants on the bike when we first do it, so we actually take a cleaner and start doing it. Let me turn some stuff on. It's gonna get a little loud.
Here we go. Appreciate that.
It goes a number of colors and then it gets buffed out, polished, and then whatever the color is. But in the light, it changes color a little bit.
Wow. Well, thank you for taking us behind the scenes. I think that's really cool that you work with these local companies, and there's always like a better process happening when you can be in person like this, when it's kind of local, and 10 years of experience. And my girlfriend, she has a cruiser bike, and she loves the basket thing. She'll take and like put some wine up there and some goodies and go to her girlfriend's house. I really like how stiff this one. The battery placement is really good, low and center where you want that weight. Both of these are hub motor driven, but it does have rear rack bosses. So you could set this thing up, make it like a commuter if you want to. It's nice to get the backpack off your back so you won't get sweaty in the neck and back. That stuff over time, I just, the more I ride, the more I like this upright body position. Adjustable angle stem. It's a quill stem, so it goes up and down. Steel swept-back handlebar with these nice Electric Bike Company branded locking grips. Same thing with the saddle. This thing is huge. It's very comfortable. It's got these rubber bumpers down here. This is a 30.4 millimeter seat post, rigid by default, but they do sell suspension posts and a whole bunch of other options and accessories. Not all of them are compatible with the Model X and Y. This is the Model C. And you'll notice it has like a rear rack mounted battery with like a built-in, it's welded to the frame rear rack, and this optional basket. There's even an optional surfboard carrier. I was super impressed to see they could actually fit like a longboard on this bike. I mean, we rode over here. Josh rode this thing over here, and I was like floored. I was like, man, let's go surfing, But we want to take care of you guys. We're going to check out the bike first. So that is, again, the Model C, and then they have a Model S, which is just a step-through version of like the, fully kitted out type of bike. And again, you can add a rear rack, but it's just not going to be that like super sturdy built one with the surfboard rack option and all that stuff. So for me, these two bikes being just $12.99, I mean, that's awesome versus $22.99 without any of those accessories. Even the fenders, you pay a little bit extra for the fenders, and they just had them on the Model Y. It's a pretty popular accessory, but this is how this one comes. It's very stock, and it's got integrated lights, which I really appreciate. So these are Blaze Light BL, it's like 2300 or something. 2 LEDs. It doesn't point where you steer because it's mounted to that head tube, and there is mounting options for this. So you could get that basket just without the battery. See, so on this bike, they didn't have room to put a battery on the frame, so it's actually built into the base of this basket. Really cute. 48 volt, 10.5 amp hour. There's really only one battery size choice for that. This one, Model X, it comes in 48 volt, 11.6 amp hour, so it's already a little bit higher. About 556 watt hours on that, okay, versus around 500. So you're getting a little bit higher capacity. And then they have an optional upgrade, and you can get a 48 volt, 14 amp hour battery, so you can really get that juice. Coming back to like the his and hers model, right? This one's black, that one's white. This one's got the basket, the step through, this one doesn't. Guys tend to be a little bigger and heavier, so maybe having a little bit of extra juice isn't a bad thing. It's nice that you can upgrade it if you want to. It adds to the price, but the default battery is slightly bigger. And coming back to this is externally mounted. There are bikes out there where there's batteries in the frame and it's totally hidden and everything, but this is really easy to get to, and they've gone out of their way to make this really beautiful like plastic piece that mates to the frame, and it feels really solid, right? There are a lot of times where it's just a couple like bolts and it's not aesthetically pleasing, and this looks so nice to me, especially with the black battery casing and the black frame. I'm really impressed with that. And being able to tap into that for the headlight that I mentioned, and then also this rear light. So this is a smart, is how it's labeled, integrated, meaning it runs off the battery, 3 LEDs, and they raised it. They actually, they 3D print this piece back at the shop. Same thing with that like molding battery piece. So they're doing a lot of stuff here. This company is, they're getting their frames from overseas and some of the electronics, but they actually fully assemble them in Newport Beach, just down the road. We rode our bikes here. They've got a pretty big team, and it's just kind of it's like a different vibe. A lot of this stuff is actually done here. The founder, that guy over there, Sean Lupton Smith. When did you guys start, Sean?
We started about 7 years ago, Court.
7 years ago, yeah, because I've done a bunch of reviews, and it's been predominantly on those. So your new, more affordable models they're great for maybe you're a student. We are at the Coastline Community College here today. Maybe you're someone who's commuting and you're like, I don't surf for a living, so I'm going to leave that one at home. This is a great option for the price, and you ship these like fully assembled, right?
Fully assembled, yes, Court. Yeah, for the guys that really want to spend a little bit more, get everything that's at the $2,000 range. But yeah, for the people the students, people that more and more people at younger ages are starting to use their bikes as commuters. So this might be ideal for them too.
It's a really feature-rich bike, and I want to point out, we're from back here, you can see both of the bikes. 57.7 pounds, 53 pounds, because it doesn't have the basket. Now, I've weighed the basket, I've weighed the fenders, I've weighed all the accessories, and that's all listed at ElectricBikeReview.com. So you can actually, there's like a comparison button. You can back to back do a comparison, even mix this one in if you want to get the full story. Yeah, I was really impressed with this thing and just the high quality components. And your team, how big is your team now?
Yeah, now we've got 12 folks
Wow.
full time in our team, you know, helping us build, helping us pack, helping us with our admin, helping with some marketing. So yeah, it's pretty good team.
I've met a few of the team members. They are friendly, and it's kind of cool to see that happening again, like kind of in America. This company, I'm just impressed. I'm going to go into the details and stuff, but you're getting so much value for your money here. Okay, so, but first let me complain. Let me complain about a couple things, okay? Single speed. We've got an 18-tooth chainring back here, 56-tooth chainring, 18-tooth sprocket. Sometimes it's nice to have those lower gears, especially if you're heavier and you want to climb a hill. Now, we are dealing with a 500-watt planetary geared hub motor from MX US. It peaks at about 1,000 watts. This has a 20-amp controller versus 26-amp controller. So if you are heavier, that's also a single speed, but all of these have derailleur mounts, so you could add, multi-speed drivetrain. I asked Sean about this. I'm like, do you want to do multi-speed? It seems like that'd be nice. And he's like, it clutters up the handlebar and the chain falls off easier. And for a cruiser bike that's relaxed like this, most of their customers had opted for single speed in the past, so they just made that the standard. But again, I do want to point out that they've got the provisions if you're someone that likes to pedal a little bit more and really become more of an active rider. Beautiful paint matched chainring that comes stock with the bike. The fork and everything also matches, but steel. So if that gets scratched, put some clear nail polish on it or something, put some black spray paint over it. It's so beautiful, it's glossy, right? But that could rust. That's one of the other little risks. I frequently, you'll hear me complaining like, no bottle cage bosses, they could have put them right here. And sometimes it's an aesthetic decision. Other times the seat post won't go down as far if you've got the bottle cage on there. So they came up with this solution here. They've got this little cup holder. You can ask about that when you're buying it. They'll put a little coffee cup in there for you, and it's reachable. I think that's a good solution. And, coming back to how clean these handlebars are, they also have like a little phone accessory, and there is a USB Type A charging port right here on the side of the display. So full-size charging port. I love that, because coming back to the battery, if you get that big battery, it's nice to be able to use that for something more than just going. Yeah, I love that they've got these puncture-resistant K-Guard 3 Schwalbe Fat Frank tires, 26 by 2.35. It's a nice wide tire that's very stable and comfortable because there's no suspension on this thing. It's designed to be just, again, lightweight, 53 pounds, not too bad, and kind of rigid. When you get a longer bike, something that's a little bit classically styled like this, you can end up with kind of that like flexy feeling, and that is definitely not the case with this bike. It feels very solid. The steel fork does give you some vibration dampening qualities, and then down here we do have quick release on the front wheel, so you could take that off and make it easier to, I don't know, toss on your car, take the battery off, same kind of thing. It's pretty versatile. And back here, we've got a standard 135 millimeter hub spacing with a 12 millimeter keyed axle. And so the motor sort of pushes against the frame, and that's what propels you. And it's been working really well. It's a smooth start, but you do hear some more, because it's a planetary geared hub motor. These freewheel efficiently, so they coast very, very efficiently. They're compact, and black is the default color. But you'll notice over here that they went with silver on everything, and that's the kind of attention to detail that always impresses me with this company. So up here we've got Tektro hydraulic disc brake levers, 3-finger adjustable reach, so you can bring it in or out depending on your hand size. 180 millimeter rotors, front and rear, dual piston calipers. So that's a nice upgrade, especially with, maybe a little bit heavier bike if you ended up adding that front basket and stuff. I like these brakes a lot, in part because they have motor inhibitors on both. So whenever you're pedaling, if you're in pedal assist mode and you brake, it's going to cut power. You're not going to be fighting against the motor or anything. That's the way you should do it, especially with a cadence sensor. And they've upgraded the sensor for this year. So that's a sealed 12 magnet sensor. It's really compact, and it's tucked away over there next to that chain ring. Some of the older ones were on this side, and they were just bigger. You could see the magnets. They could get dirty and stuff. We've got a kickstand right here. Nice big kickstand, stable, adjustable length. But you end up with pedal lock. So if you're backing the bike out of the garage like this, and then that pedal gets close, see, it locks the bike up, and you have to kind of push it forward like this and then stow that kickstand. So that's something I'm always like, you know, kind of noticing. I am trying to be fair here and go thorough here. There's always a trade-off. I kind of like it when you have kickstands mounted towards the back, but it takes a frame update, you know, and I guess they just didn't do that. Sean, why haven't you done a rear-mounted kickstand?
You know, we feel that it balances the bike. Having the kickstand in the middle, it does have that thing, you're correct, that has a pedal lock. You get used to that, of course, and it also just balances the bike because we have a real utility type basket in the front.
Yeah.
And because it's strong and it's attached to the frame, people tend to put a lot of weight up front.
What are you talking about? A lot of weight.
There we go.
Yeah.
So
I get it.
Balanced,
I can see that now. Okay, so you know, again, it's a minor thing you want to keep your eye on when you're doing this bike. I feel like I've gone around the bike and shown you guys most of the features, but I want to call out this battery. I think I just unlocked it. You kind of slide it up. Maybe I need to put it in this position. There we go. Maybe I keep locking it. Turn it. There it is. There it is. So I finally got, and I just hit the frame again. My bad. This is what the battery looks like. It's pretty grabbable. You know, there's a little LED charge level indicator on the side, and I like that this battery is removable because it's not on the Model Y. It's like built into that basket, and if you live somewhere where it's really hot or cold, it's best to store your battery in a cool, dry location because the extreme heat can be kind of hard on those cells, but they do use Samsung cells, so this is all really nice stuff. There's an on-off button on the battery, and again, there's a charging port on the side. The charger is another area where they went, you know, upscale. Pretty fancy. It's a 3-amp charger. This says 5 amps. That's an even higher option, but the 3-amp looks just like this, so I kind of tossed this in the bag. It's got this metal end piece, so it's not going to get broken if you drop it. Even the whole case, it just feels sturdy. It's got a fan built in. With a 3-amp charger for a 550-watt battery, you're looking at 3 to 3.5 hours for a full charge. That's awesome. Like, that's nice. So many electric bikes come with a 2-amp charger, and then some of the nicer ones like the Bosch charger, it's a 4-amp charger. So 3 is just fine, especially in this price range. So very impressed with that. I feel like I've hit most of this stuff, but you know, the internally routed cables and everything's really well protected. These nice, slightly larger platform pedals. They got the rubber tread, so if you slip off, you won't get the scraped up shins like I've got from all these years of mountain biking. I feel like, you know, we've gone through this. There's the flick bell that they've got a few options that they just kind of throw in if you ask, like, hey, I want one of those cup holders. And then they've got like a pack of things. So if you want the cup holder and you want the bell and you want the, I don't know what there was some other option there. Sean, can you name some of the other accessories?
Yeah, cell phone holder, an alarm system, anti-theft alarm system.
That's right. Yeah. There's so many things. Yeah. There's so many things on this bike. I mean, you were like a restaurant owner before this, maybe a chain of restaurants, right?
Correct. Yes. From the sandwich business mainly. Where, you know, instead of getting a pre-made sandwich, from you don't know where it comes from, that we prefer to have a freshly baked bread with all your options. So however you wanted the sandwich made.
Starting to sound familiar.
Yes.
Right? Customization. This one, they really went nuts. We've actually been talking about this for a while, and you're like, yeah, we want to make one that's a little bit more affordable so that some of these younger guys can get into a bike. And I was complaining that sometimes you buy a bike like this, sometimes you spend so much money and you get it just right. You don't want to take it anywhere because it might get beat up. Like, I take that one for fun, and that's like the Cadillac, and then this is like your daily commuter or something. And for a lot of people, I mean, we're still talking about $1,300 plus the shipping, a couple more $100, $1,500 after all is said and done. You know, that's a chunk of change, but you're really getting a lot of value and quality from this offering. So I'm genuinely excited about it. I welcome you guys to chime in with your feedback. Maybe you've worked with them in the past and you know what good customer service they have. They've done a lot to create a reliable, awesome product. Do you feel like there's anything that maybe I've missed here, Sean?
I think just the one thing is we pride ourselves, of course, in the hardware. So with the spokes, all the hardware pieces, nuts, bolts, washers, and with the chain, everything's rust resistant. So because we're in a beach environment, and typically, I mean, you can use these in lakes and around mountains and anywhere but where there's a lot of corrosion, we made sure integrated bearings. So, you know, we look at the detail stuff.
That's a great point. Yeah, that's another, it's easy to like forget that kind of stuff, and when I'm reviewing the bike, I'm trying to talk about the experience and I'm hitting the main things, but a lot of companies don't use like the sealed integrated cartridge bearings, and they don't use, you know, stainless steel hardware. They go with cheaper stuff, and you guys You really do. You do a good job, and you touch each bike. You actually, I hear that this guy like test rides most of the bikes, right, Josh?
Yes.
Nice. I see him zipping around the building. I'm like, oh, Josh is out there again. And so it's really cool. If you live in Southern California, Newport Beach is like Costa Mesa area, close to LA, you can come here and you could like get your bike in person, then you save a few $100.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you know, when we do the shipping, of course, to most of the states, there's no sales tax. So what you lose on the sales tax, you have to gain on the shipping kind of thing.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah. So it's you know, normally it's around about $200 sales tax. So you pay that towards the shipping.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, it's very, very nice to hear all of those different options and stuff. Maybe you should stop talking and just hop on the bikes. Is that cool?
Let's do that.
Why don't you hop on this one?
Okay.
While he's doing that, I'm going to show you. They have the same display. So this is how you boot the bike up. First, you make sure the battery pack is on. They both have these toggle switches. This does swivel, but it's not removable. So the sun, the rain over time, I try to park my bike, especially a nice electric bike, in like a garage or somewhere where it's protected. You press the power button over here. Boots up very quickly. We've got 4 bars on that battery infographic, and frankly, I'd like to see 10 or a percentage, but they're just kind of using stock hardware, and it gets the job done. There's a little trip timer, assist level. It starts out in assist level 1, and that throttle is hot, so be careful. A lot of times I'll get on the bike before I turn it on for safety. Then we have current speed, motor power in watts, distance down here, and then ambient temperature. It's 80 degrees out right now. If you press that power button, it cycles through things, so you get like average speed, and then down there's the odometer, and then it says max speed and battery voltage. So battery voltage gives you a little bit more precision, but you have to like learn what the different voltage means. It's not as clear as like a percentage would be. You hold the up button, and we're gonna activate those headlights. See, there's a little infographic right there. There's the headlight. Super bright day, so you might not see it, but I'm really impressed with the rear light. Even if you have fenders, you can still see it from behind. I mean, that's great. And even from the sides, it's a very much like a B scene solution. So many rear lights just have 1 LED, so to have 3, that's a pretty good thing. If you hold the down arrow, normally that would do walk mode, but on their bikes it turns off and on assist. So assist, that's pedal assist with that 12 magnet sensor. So by default, you're kind of just in throttle cruising mode, and it's a variable speed triggered throttle, but it is limited by the assist level you're in. So in assist level 1, it's slow, it's quiet, you feel very under control. Assist level 5, that throttle will really boost you, but you can go into the menu here and you can change it to like basically the throttle will be full power on all levels of assist. That's my preference because it is variable speed. So if I just push gently, I'm going to get less, and then all the way I'll get full power, but you have to do that in the settings. How do you get to the settings? I will show you. You turn the display off, and then you turn it on, and then you hold up and down. Oh, I need to do that little bit. Here we go. Hold it there. Okay, holding up and down. Yes, nailed it. Okay, so see here you can change the max speed. We'll press the power button. You can change the wheel size, 26 inches. You go from miles per hour to kilometers per hour, and then it gets to this like nothing is happening, and then you hold the up and down again, and it goes to like the P menu, and I don't know what all these things do, but then you go to the last menu here, and you hold like up and down, and it goes to the C menu, and they will help you. This is where customer support happens. They'll tell you which menu, but I tested this. I wanted you to know that it does work. I'm just gonna try to get out of here by holding the power button, and let's take a ride, shall we? So I'm gonna stow that kickstand. I'm gonna take it up to assist level 5 so I can keep up with Sean. And yeah, maybe just cruise around the parking lot, man.
Right.
Some nice views. Really smooth. We got Josh back there with the surfboard patrol. Beautiful. And as I was saying before, it's definitely peppier on the 26 amp controller on the Model C and the Model S, but you know, you're paying more money for that, and I kind of like the mid-frame battery design. You know, so this is a pretty good looking bike. You can just cruise past me again, Sean. Looking good. Very cool. And I can't believe how well that surf rack works, especially with a longboard. It's crazy. Okay, I want to see a brake test. I'm going to go ahead of you.
Okay.
We turn on the headlight. Wait, okay, so this is my brake test with one lever. very good, very smooth. Very nice, very nice. How are you doing, Josh?
Good. Rides very well.
Fantastic, guys. I think that's it. I do my best to go into detail, and it's always fun to talk with people behind the brand and behind all the innovation that happens here. For the full written review, all the measurements and stuff, I'll see you back at ElectricBikeReview.com. Have fun out there, ride safe, love you guys. We'll see you next time. Okay guys, we got back to the headquarters. I thought I'd show you this place. It's a really cool truck, and then a bunch of bikes that people can demo ride, or maybe they're here to get some accessories or purchased. I don't really know, but you can see how they've got like like kind of a rear basket option and the suspension seat post. That one has a mirror on it. Lots of cool options with these bikes. And I rode back on the high step, and I noticed it was a little quieter, right? Like this basket, it jingles around just a little bit. The fenders are pretty quiet. The chain's not bouncing around because it's single speed, but that's one of the trade-offs with, you know, the Model Y versus the Model X. I did notice, you know, when you look at the 20 amp controller, 500 watt motor, it peaks out at 1,000 versus, you know, this one, it's like 26 amp controller, peaks out at 1,200, and it's punchier. It's definitely punchier if you're someone who's a little bit bigger, especially because this is just a single speed. Like, you can't really downshift to help you climb. I think the gearing that they chose is really good because you don't want to be struggling to keep up at high speeds, and 20 is the top speed on this bike versus 28. But just kind of as it's set up, it works fine. And, you know, the basket is a pretty good utility option. The frame flex thing is much less noticeable coming back to the battery position. Again, just I ride on these bikes, I like to get that feel, and I want to express that to you and then take you on a quick tour here. So I'm with Sean, and I'm just gonna jump right in. Like, check this place out. You can see all the frames, the different colors hanging from the ceiling, really well organized. It's beautiful. And these are more bikes that they're working on. There's the surfboard attachment. You can kind of see it. This one's totally kitted out. This is like the safari bike here with the basket and the surfboard rack. Amazing to see a full-size board on that thing. Just looks like a blast. They're working on a couple other projects. Here's some of the rims and stuff prepped. There we go. This is the other one that I was reviewing the other day, the Model C. It's the high step with the more powerful motor and battery option there. Some of the shop employees. How's it going, Alex?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Good. A bunch of parts and stuff. This is where they do all the support. Can I go in there?
Yes, please.
They're doing wow. Hey, sorry, Jack. Hey, Josh. Oh boy, getting a little crazy. I just wanted to peek in here and show you guys what this looks like. I guess they do the spoking right over here, and then they put it through this, and it's got like some lasers and stuff, and it lines everything up. So that is so cool. Why did you choose to, I mean, this is an expensive machine here. Why spokes? Why is that important?
Yeah, you know, because we're actually selling two wheels, and we wanted to make sure those wheels were perfectly trued, perfectly balanced, making sure that everything had stainless, rust-resistant hardware. We wanted to have integrated bearings. We wanted to be in control of that quality. So now we build all our wheels here.
Wow, and I mean, that's impressive. And it's also fun just to see that they have color options for their rims. When you get like a custom paint job, can you also get the paint on the rims?
Yes, you can. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Okay. Well, this is sweet, man. Thanks for the quick tour.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we should see while we're in here?
Well, that's just that we got all the different parts for every bike. Every single part gets inspected before it gets onto the bike. It then gets built and then gets inspected here.
Wow.
And then we do a test run. So it goes through all that. So when you get it fully assembled to your door, and it's in perfect nick.
Is Josh the one that does the test rides? Because he was looking pretty crazy out there. Yeah?
Do the final inspections on the bikes before they go out, test ride and make sure everything's good before we send them.
Well, and I should say the shipping on these, how much is it, Sean?
It's $229 to a residence and $149 fully assembled to a business.
Okay, and that's an important thing because these are basically ready to ride. Sometimes, I mean, look, you're paying a little extra for the shipping. So it is one of those situations where you want the fenders a little bit extra. You want they have this like alarm system thing. They have even the bell and stuff. There are little things that are extra, but there's quite a lot of value just right out of the box. And then when you're able to get that without having to do a bunch of work and assembly, that's nice because not everyone has the tools, and you know. So thank you very much. Yes. Good to see.
Pleasure.